Welcome back to Drafting Out Loud. Here we are for another slow draft Sunday with the Leverage Lab. And first up, we got 10 minutes left in the draft. We had an auto pick of Brock Purdy at 104. Not our favorite pick, but we are trying to make the best of it. We picked Debo up at 128, essentially at his ADP. We got Dazon Stribling here as the best available. He is ADP 134. It's pick 137. Wouldn't be making this pick if I didn't have Brock Purdy, but I do think this is an interesting pick in this case. Probably like you have the two like number two wide receivers or the no, 2 and 3 wide receivers here in San Francisco, hoping one of them does big things. And, we accidentally picked Brock Purdy, so it kind of makes sense. We don't really need a running back for the most part, and I don't think we need Tyrone Tracy on this team for sure with what we have at running back. And there aren't any tight ends that are super available. Chick is available at 143. He's kind of falling as he probably should be with the Stephon Diggs signing. I don't know how far he should fall, but I guess he probably should fall at least a little bit because of that. They both are, neither of them running like super, super deep routes, so they might overlap just a tad. We do have Trevor Lawrence on this team. At least we do have him stacked up with Brian Thomas already. Lamar stacked up with Zay Flowers and Derrick Henry. That's kind of unfortunate that we accidentally clicked Brock Purdy on this team, considering we got this cool Baltimore thing going on too. A little annoying. Who do we have taken instead of? This is going to probably bug us even more. Where did we accidentally take Purdy at 104? Oh, you know what? We probably had Diggs queued up. We didn't get him, and then that happened. If this was now, we would take Ja'Cory Cross-Scheme-Merritt. At this time, I don't think we would have. We might have still taken Ja'Cory Cross-Scheme-Merritt, but we do have 3. Yeah, we probably would have because we have Trevor Lawrence. It would have been bring. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Or we just pull up Ja'Cory. No, because we got Thomas already on it. We're making the best of what we have, though, is what we're doing here. We are going to go and take Dazon Stribling. That would be our 6th wide receiver. And then do we just come back around? Then when we come back around, it's probably like either Chig as the bring back, Travis Hunter, or Brenton Strange. One of those 3 players is probably our next pick after this. Is Mark Andrews going? Yeah, Mark Andrews got taken. We just missed out on Mark Andrews. We did take Debo instead of Mark Andrews, which I guess we have Zay already stacked here. So we just got all 3 of our players stacked, which is what we were thinking. But we'll just go ADP here and we'll figure out the next pick after that. I don't think there's a right pick. I don't think there's a wrong pick on this team. Dazon Stribling, welcome to the team. Okay. Next up, round 17. This one I'm kind of regretting just a tad. Darren Waller sighting. We had this pick here. We took AJ Barner. I think it might have been the right. Let's see who's available now at tight end, because that's our tight end too. So if we don't grab AJ Barner, we're probably thinking about like Evan Ingram and one of these guys as our tight end 2 and 3. One could argue maybe that AJ Barner is, a step up or 2 from that. And then also Tyquan Thornton will stack with Patrick Mahomes. We did pass up on Pat Bryant, who is rising up the boards here pretty quickly, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, look at that, number 2, up 10 picks in the last 2 days. I probably should have just taken Pat Bryant and then dealt with whatever tight ends I have here. That being said, I think we're going to take Tyquan Thornton with this pick, and that will give us an actual like receiver stack with Patrick Mahomes. Right now, we only have the running back stacked up. So at least we do stack up our quarterback, which there's value in that. Tyquan Thornton, you could argue, should be rising up the boards more than Cyrus Allen in some ways. Um, Cyrus Allen, fourth wide receiver, probably needs an injury. At least that's what it seems like right now to get run. While Tyquan Thornton sounds like the third wide receiver, and he's the deep threat, like the kind of the other deep threat wide receiver, or the biggest deep threat wide receiver. Maybe like I don't know. Xavier Worthy, I think, is going to operate a little bit more not underneath, but in the middle of the field. And the intermediate part of the field is a better way to put it, probably. I think Tyquan Thornton's, your pure deep threat. They've always had one of those on KC, and he did pretty well in it last year. And because they didn't sign Stephon Diggs, that's just another out for Tyquan Thornton to still get a lot of run. So every player that gets signed by another team, I think Tyquan Thornton should probably, rise up the boards just a bit. We did have Kayshon Boutte here. He kind of has stopped getting the buzz that he got at first. That would be a bring back on Bo Nix, but I think getting the stack makes more sense. And then we got Evan Ingram here, probably queued up for our last pick. Not exciting at all, but it will be a Denver stack here. And there might be some upside with Evan Ingram, possibly. Michael Mayer would be the other. I think these are the two biggest options, maybe like in that order, or that. I think probably this order, I think, is the order that, if you ask me, we already got Lad McConkey. We don't need another Charger for the bring back on the Chiefs. So this will give us a nice, like, just overall rounded team, I guess, with Tyquan Thornton. There really isn't anyone else where I feel like you need this player, and he correlates the best with the team. Let's make it happen. Next up, we are one pick away from Luther Burden. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That's unfortunate. Would have been fun to get that, especially like we got Lamar queued up here. Why do we have Lamar queued up here? So we have Zay Flowers. Okay, this is one where we pull up Zay Flowers with George Pickens. So Lamar is a given on this team. We want the Lamar. We pulled him up here for a reason. So we're going to take Lamar. It would have to be something really crazy for us not to take him. And so it's just really a question of, should we take DeAndre Swift or buy Shell Tootin? And that's a tough one a little bit. What do I got going on with that? Let's go to our leverage lab. Let's look up Jahmyr Gibbs. Do we have Swift? We have two teams with Swift, one team with Tootin. So a little bit of both. Let's look at our Swift teams first here. Do we have, oh, cool. We got one stacked up with Caleb Williams. And let's take a look at that one first. A Swift Loveland Williams team with Gibbs and Tesla on the other side for the bring back. That's nice. Another, Rondé Gadsden. Man, I think he was falling to that spot when we took him, and just it seems to be a mistake, it looks like. That being said, it looks like we do have a lot of nice hits on this one. MarShawn Lloyd, Trey Harris, we got that. No, that's not a stack. It is a stack with Gadsden, not a nice one. It's a bring back with Patrick Mahomes. Okay, Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice on this one. Mahomes still falling, which is a little crazy. We got Jonathan Brooks and Stephon Diggs, both at good values on this team. And Loveland might rise up the boards with the Luther Burden injury, possibly. Overall, not a bad team there as far as that goes. Let's unsynthesize that from Caleb Williams. There is the other one. Let's go take a look at the other team just for fun. We got Jeremy Bernard, who we probably took in not the last round, so we're got some bad CLV on that. Got some nice CLV here on Jalen Waddle, who's now definitely going at the beginning of the fourth round, like every time. Looks like we got AJ Brown maybe in the third round. Let's see. Yeah, I guess we have George Pickens in the second, AJ Brown in the third, or yeah. Is that what we did? George Pickens at the end of the second, A.J. Brown at the beginning of the third is what it looks like we did on this one. Got some good Parker Washington CLV on this one right here. And yeah, there we go. There's that one. Not a bad team either. So, but the question is, let's look at our Tootin team. We have one Tootin team. Warno and Myers falling down the boards. We probably have Trevor Lawrence. Yep, we do. We got Trevor Lawrence on this one. Looks like we pulled up Trevor Lawrence on this one. He is falling to the next round, so you don't really need to pull him up now. We did pull it up, I guess, because we have Terry McLaurin here. So we have like this the Trevor Lawrence, Terry McLaurin bring back going on. We pulled up Terrence Ferguson pretty darn high on this one. We probably didn't need anything else, is my guess. Yeah, look at this. We got Ferguson, Otten, Bretton Strange as our three tight ends. We went hard in other places. So this is a tough one, what we want to do here with our second pick, whether it's Swift or Tootin. I don't think it matters a whole lot either way. Neither of them, I think, is rising up the board. Not like significantly. I think Swift is just slowly trickling up the board. Wow. Look and see if Jordan Mason's on the risers or still. He's not. Swift is trickling up the board like, 0.1 picks a day or something like that. While Tootin is, I think, kind of static here. Swift would be a bring back on Jahmyr Gibbs. Tootin would be a play on if we can get like Trevor Lawrence to fall back to us or something like that as our second QB. We wouldn't even want to get Caleb Williams here, but it would force this guy to get Clay. If we took Swift here, it would force this team to probably take Caleb Williams at 71, giving us like just one more person to choose from there. I also like Mike Evans also. Mike Evans we didn't see on the risers list, but is he like just barely moving up the boards? I don't know. He is not barely moving up the boards. It's kind of static, actually, maybe falling just a tad. I think we're going to play the ADP game just a little bit and just take Swift and Lamar. It is the bring back on Jahmyr Gibbs. And then we'll figure out the next pick from there. Swift. I don't feel great about this, but I don't think it matters a whole lot. They'll just go Swift and Lamar. Welcome to the team. Next one here. We are in the 10th round. We are at the end of the 10th. So we got only one person on the turn before it's our pick in the 11th round. We got a 1-4-4-0 going on here. It's a Bijan team, and we got Mike Evans on it with Malik Neighbors. We got an Evans, Makai Lemon with Purdy on it. So the stack with the bring back. There, Lemon is falling, so we're definitely losing some CLV on there. We knew that when we drafted that pick, we were probably going to lose CLV on it. That's okay. We do have a number of players as options here. One of them isn't Rachaad White, who is falling in this draft. They're just falling overall a little bit, 113. As Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's been moving up, Rachaad White's been falling down. We already have 4 running backs that are early. We don't need Rachaad White on this team. There's like no quarterbacks that are available. I drafted this hoping that like Kyler Murray would fall because he was falling, but he didn't make it in this draft. Okay, this guy got Jordan Addison. Did he take Jordan Addison? When? He did take Jordan Addison with this pick. So I guess I just shouldn't have even hoped in this one. That being said, I think Diggs and Purdy are the picks here almost like no matter what. So it didn't really matter what happened. We are definitely taking Diggs here as our fourth wide receiver. And Purdy, again, the stack with the bring back. So it doesn't really matter a whole lot. We only have one. That means we only have one QB. Jaden Higgins does have a QB that we could stack with. He goes like in the 140s, which is where our next pick is going to be. Where's Nico Collins on this one? Right here. They have Lamar and Bo Nix. So chances are that they won't grab CJ Stroud. And if they don't take CJ Stroud, then it's our pick there. Oh, that is a same bye week as Brock Purdy. That's a little unfortunate. Week 8. It's not the greatest time either. What else could we do? Anything? Um, Maybe like an Aaron Rodgers, like a 3 QB team. Purdy, Stroud, and then like Aaron Rodgers or something like that. And that'd be a stack with Jalen Warren as well. What's his Tennessee guy? Yeah, Tennessee guy's gone, so we can't do that. If Wan'Dale Robinson was here, I guess we'd probably take him. I think he goes just slightly earlier though. We don't have any Indianapolis players. That would kind of maybe make us go towards Cleveland. Higgins is kind of moving up the boards just slowly. Casey Concepcion's actually kind of, he's in like the 118s. So he's moving down just a tad. Romeo Dobbs would be an okay pick here too. We can't stack him at all. I think we want to get at least one player that we can stack. What I think we want to do here is get a wide receiver with a pick and then a tight end with a pick. This guy's already got one tight end, so he's probably not going to take 2 tight ends. But actually, he's got Drake May, so he'll probably take Romeo Dobbs with one pick. And he did go a little later with these running backs, so you could see him maybe get Rachaad White, just ADP value there. Or he could take a second tight end. Who knows? But Higgins is just slightly creeping up. Kincaid and Likely slightly creeping up. None of them are on the movers, I don't think. But they're all just slowly creeping up the boards. So those are some of the players that we're going to keep our eyes on here for this pick. We're going to go, I think, Higgins on this one. Higgins will, again, give us a stacking partner on this team. Oops, that's not our team. It gives a stacking partner, at least on this team. Do we have a Green Bay player? We don't. Jade Higgins. Welcome to the team. Oh, speaking of Wan'Dale Robinson, who goes 111. Yeah, he was much earlier. So this is at 117, though. So this is around what was this pick here? 119. Okay. So Wan'Dale fell in this one, though. We do have Tony Pollard in this one. We only have one QB in this one as well. It would be nice if Cam Ward made it all the way back, I guess is what we're saying on here. There's no one else that we have really to stack here on this team. We did get our players we've been hitting on, like in every draft, and Stephon Diggs and Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt. On this one, we do have a Luther Burden team here, basically at ADP. This was before the injury that we did get him. Wan'Dale Robinson is past ADP. I don't know how much we have of Wan'Dale. How much Wan'Dale do we have? Let's unsynthesize this by shell 2 thing. Let's go look at Wan'Dale. Over 10%. Okay. So we're a little ahead of market. When we get him, we're usually stacking with Cam Ward. And you can see that we got Tony Pollard on a decent amount of those teams too. We have 2 teams with Wan'Dale, Cam Ward, Tony Pollard. A lot of the Tennessee guys are falling down the board. Looks like we've made some bad decisions. Oh, got some good Parker Washington, see Josh Jones, Ryan Flournoy, AJ Brown. Okay, we haven't made the worst decisions. Jordan Mason before the rise. Deebo Samuel, one of those teams there. That's nice. One of them's a Chuba team. Whoops. We probably just didn't know what to do, so we took Chuba on it. We do not have much Chuba at all. I think we got one team where we drafted him in the late 90s that's going on, and now he's got a hammy going on. So we're gonna take one. I think we're gonna take Wandale. We do have George Kittle. I don't know what to do George Kittle, to draft him or not draft him, but I think Wandale makes the most sense. Two of these teams have tight ends, so where's Brock Purdy on this one over here? So 104, where we accidentally took him the one time. So George Kittle could make it back to us in the next round. I wouldn't be opposed to taking him, although I wouldn't be like super excited to take him. But it would be our first tight end, so I think it's the kind of team where you maybe want to bet on it a little bit, considering we cannot. There's no cute tight ends to really stack with here, as long as you're not considering Cole Kmet really an option. Maybe is like an 18th round option potentially. And then Tennessee, Pittsburgh, there's tight ends there in that game if we end up stacking that one, which I think is the plan. Wandale, welcome to the team. We have no one shown on here. Someone took Wandale right there. 11th round, the beginning of the 11th round. We took Romeo Doubs in the 10th round as our fourth wide receiver. We got Brock Bowers on this team. Joe Burrow on this team. Baker Mayfield and QBs are falling. So Baker Mayfield falls a little bit past ADP. We don't have any Tampa Bay. We don't have any Los Angeles Rams. We could just do that and take Baker Mayfield. We do have a New York Jets thing here. We also have a potential stack of Brock Purdy. They're both week 13. Isaiah Likely is slowly creeping up the boards. These both Isaiah Likely and Dalton Kincaid. Neither of them are risers, but they're getting a little bit of buzz. I think, and these guys are falling. I think there's a chance that like Likely flips them eventually. I think we just take Likely here. If we do end up taking, because the Jets don't really have a tight end. They got Minnesota's got Hawkinson, if you want to bring back on that. We already have the tight end for Las Vegas, and getting Likely doesn't stop us from getting a third tight end, but we can definitely comfortably stop it too. Also, considering there aren't a lot of attractive options for how this team's probably going to get built. So we're going to try something different. We're going to go Isaiah Likely here. We're going to see if we get like a Fernando Mendoza, Geno Smith thing, week 13 guys. We got Joe Burrow. We can afford 2 week 13 things, or just even one of them if we wanted to be a little skinny at QB, which would be totally okay as well. But we're going to go Isaiah Likely here. Try to take advantage of the rise. If he keeps on rising past this, we might get a little bit of CLV on it, and makes sense for the team as well. Okay, Isaiah Likely to the team. We got one more underdog here. Daniel Jones has fallen past ADP. So did Cam Ward, well past ADP. We have Bo Nix and Kyler Murray on this team. Bo Nix stacked with probably Waddle, yep. Kyler Murray stacked with Justin Jefferson. Kyler Murray, newly named starter for Minnesota. 154 is where we're at. And so once we get in the 150, so I see Tank Bigsby here. I do have Saquon Barkley, though, on this team. We do need running backs. I mean, not like desperately, but we kind of do. We got one locked-in starter, then two iffy people at nice prices overall, but iffy people. I guess this one's a nice price. This one's slightly ahead of ADP, it looks like, still at 87. Why did I do that? 87. Who did I take? Is 87? Which side is the board is 87? Oh, okay. I took him on. Yeah. So I took him before Hubbard. I think that was the right call. Took him before Dobbins. You could argue. I don't know. I took him before Dobbins and Corum. I think Brooks I don't know. Dobbins is probably just slightly, but I think Dobbins is still going ahead of him. But Tank Bigsby is a Jonah Coleman there too, which is a stack on Bo Nix. These guys both have 4 running backs. He's got 3 solid ones and a fourth that's interesting. he could use he's got Jordan Love. And one of my guys, once we get these 150s, I've pulled him up a couple times already, MarShawn Lloyd. I think he's going to pass up a lot of these players. He is a riser. 167, up 7 picks in the last 2 days. So he's averaging 3.5 picks a day, 20 picks in the last 7 days, 29 picks in the last 30 days. So he's just been kind of rising for a while, but it definitely was picking up here over the last 7 days, up to 167. My hot take would be, why can't he be in the same range as Tank Bigsby, Jonah Coleman. In fact, I think Tajay Spears. Did Tajay Spears go before or after them? 158. Yeah, so I think I don't know if he passes up Tank Bigsby. He could, but I think he passes up Tajay Spears. That is my hot take. And this guy does have Jordan Love. It looks like he is stacking because he's got Golden here and Kraft here. With the amount of buzz that MarShawn Lloyd is getting, I could see him getting drafted before these two. Also, I already have 2 Week 10 buys. Not that I really focus on buys a whole lot, but it's a player that I like just as much, if not more. It's a player that I think will get run every week, so he can get me some points. And I think in Week 10, we're just going to need some points from a player. And I think this, while this is not CLV right now, I think it will be eventually. We're also like super heavy here already at wide receiver. We really need tight end and running back, and maybe a third quarterback if we want to. Daniel Jones would be the only thing. You can't stack him up really, but he's getting a lot of good buzz. Do we have our next pick up to 159? This guy's got 2 QBs already. This guy's only got one. Does he have with Alec Pierce? So this guy's probably going to go and take Daniel Jones, but I don't think taking Daniel Jones is. If it was like the 18th round, I'd do it. I don't think this is the time to do it. We do have Jonathan Brooks. We could go and kind of pull up Bryce Young just a tad. Or we could do like 2 running backs, like either take MarShawn Lloyd and see if Tank Bigsby or Jonah Coleman come back. We're not taking Gadsden. So we're going to wait on tight end until the next round. Maybe TJ Hawkinson gets back to us. He falls sometimes. We only have 1 tight end, so they definitely could fall. I think we know who we're going to be going for eventually here too. And Terrence Ferguson, whoa, 176.6. Is he on the risers? Surprised he's not. There just must be just enough people that are really rising where that rise isn't enough. But I gotta say, he might get on the risers. 176.6. Where's our? When we get 178 here? Okay, we gotta hope like this guy takes some tight ends, and this guy takes some tight ends. So the time that Terrence Ferguson gets over there, he's available. We're gonna go MarShawn Lloyd with this pick, though. I think is what we're gonna do because we don't need wide receiver. And again, we don't have the tight ends we want. And we're not going to go with any of these QBs here. MarShawn Lloyd. Pulling them up. Welcome to the team. We got 1 DraftKings to look at. 4 hours left. Based on ADP, we got Quinshad Judkins available 5 picks after. This buzz is probably talking about the pass work. Let's just make sure. I think there was something saying he's like more pass work or more work. Yeah, passing game. I don't know how excited I am for that, but if I can get him that many picks past ADP, I think you just take him and figure it out from there. He will be our 4th running back, and we can just stop at 4 with those 4. Like we definitely don't need a 5th, and it's not even risky. It's like there's like a crazy strong running back room. And then there are a bunch of, once Judkins and I guess Irving, then you get into other like Henderson's interesting, but it sounds like he's not taking a bigger step in the thing right in the game right now with his lack of pass blocking skills. Maybe it picks up later on, but um, his fall is probably makes sense. Is he falling? I feel like he is. Let's go to DraftKings market movers and take a look. I think Judkins' ADP is rising just a bit too, at 52 or 3, whatever it was. On DraftKings, you can do it. There we go. Stefon Diggs well into the hundreds here on DraftKings. Parker Washington into the well into the 60s. Mike McDaniel said that Vidal's going to get some run too. Oh, there's Trevor Anderson, one of the lowest faller, but he's fallen one pick in the last 2 days, 3 picks in the last 7 days. So he has just got a consistent little drip of a fall going on. Rashee Rice might fall out of the second round, by the way. Luther Burden, want to hit on Luther Burden a lot right now. Is what I want to do. Don't know why Omarion Hampton's falling. Like maybe because they're saying they're going to use all 3 running backs. Like you knew they were, so they didn't say how much. I don't think so. I don't know how the news makes him fall. Okay, Judkins. Oh, let's see if Judkins is a riser. No, he's not. But we're still going to take him. Daniel Bellinger, the backup tight end for Tennessee. Let's go Quinshon Judkins, and then we'll figure out our next pick when it gets to us. Okay, guys, let me know what you think about the teams, the drafts, the strategy, good, bad, which one's the worst, which one do you love? See you on the next one. Peace.